Hi fans of high quality entertainment. Today I am on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, my 7th level, and I've got 2 more after that, going through all of my CD collection. And just before I start, now this is the weather in Trenton, Ontario today. Lovely weather. I highly recommend you have a vacation in Ontario, Canada in January. Best month of the year to visit Ontario. And just a reminder, on my other YouTube channel, Canadian Studmuffin, I am interviewing Mark Farner, formerly of Grand Funk Railroad, tomorrow. So by the time I post this video, it might be, when it is posted, I'll have the link here. So please check out my second interview with the great Mark Farner. You know, when you start a series, sometimes you enjoy them. You enjoy some series more than others, and this one I've really, seriously enjoyed. I think a lot of my viewers have too, so thank you, and thank you for commenting. And it's going to be sad when this is over. What am I going to do? Here we go. So I'm in R, and it goes to the letter S. So I've got 3 Ramones CDs. My favorite is their debut. And then there's Leave Home, which is excellent, and Rocket to Russia. I think after Road to Ruin, I would probably be done with them. And I also do have a Kiss, Ramones, It's Alive box set that's in the bedroom. It has 4 CDs and I think 2 vinyl records. This box set I've talked about more than once recently. Excellent box set. All of the early albums by the Rascals on the Atlantic record label. What a great band they were, and there's all the albums. Really nice box set. All right, we get into Lou Reed. I am a huge Lou Reed and Velvet Underground fan. He's not everybody's cup of tea. His vocals, especially later on in his career, where he's not the best singer, but that never bothered me at all. I think it's the music and the songs. And, some bad singers, I actually like the personality in their voice, so it doesn't really bother me. But this bothers me. Metallica with Lou Reed, Lulu. I did do a Does This Album Suck on my Canadian Studmuffin channel a couple years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, and it doesn't suck. It's, not my favorite. I might play it maybe once a year. But it's, it's good. I'm not going to slam it like everybody else does. I've got this box set, the Broadcast Collection, 1976, 1992. And if you want to pause once again to read all that. And the sound quality is, overall pretty good. Mainly, I guess, like from radio broadcasts. And then I've got this. I've got a big Lou Reed box set. I've got all of the CDs here, but the actual box set is in my bedroom. And then I've got this other box set, the Sire Years Complete Albums box. So I'll show you there's no booklet or anything. But it's still, nice to have all these albums in one box set. New York, one of my favorites. This one, like I've said before, it's not one of my favorites. It's one of my least favorites. Set the Twilight Reeling. I guess I need to listen to it more. But I do like this, Ecstasy. Lou Reed and John Cale, Songs for Drella, which is very good. Their tribute to Andy Warhol. This is just called, I believe, Lou Reed. Oh, Perfect Night Live in London. Another one of my favorites, Magic and Loss. The Raven, not one of my favorites. Some of these, you know, I might play once or twice every 2 years. But 80% of it I play a lot. Animal Serenade, another excellent Lou Reed live album. Here's the track listing. A couple more live albums. This one is really good. Live in Italy. Highly recommended. Here's the track listing. And Lou Reed live with Vicious, Satellite of Love, Walk on the Wild Side, I'm Waiting for the Man, Oh Jim, and Sad Song. And then, like I said, I don't have the albums of these artists in order. I just have them all, as long as they're all together, for the most part, I'm happy. So, Legendary Hearts, excellent album. Transformer, not my favorite, but still, you know, of course, a very good album. Most people's #1 or #2. The Blue Mask, I love. Lou Reed, Rock and Roll Heart, very underrated. It's a good album. Berlin, one of my favorites. One of my least favorites, Metal Machine Music. Yes, I listened to it all the way through, I think on my other channel a few years back, and it was painful. Coney Island Baby, probably, this was the first album I ever heard by him back in 1976, and it's still my favorite. Lou Reed, his debut with Steve Howe and Rick Wakeman. Yeah, Rick Wakeman. And Caleb Quaye from Elton John's band. It's kind of, you know, it's not, the production isn't very good, but overall, it's an underrated album. I like it. Another one of my favorites, Street Hassle. Lou Reed Live, which is Lou Reed insulting everybody, but it's a fun listen. Another one that's underrated, Sally Can't Dance. The only one I don't have of Lou Reed's, of the official releases, is that Meditation one. I will get it sometime. Rock and Roll Animal, great live album. Another one of my favorites, New Sensations. Another one of my favorites, The Bells. Mistrial, which is okay. It's the 80s. And Growing Up in Public, which is also very good. As you can see, it's really, you know, it's starting to snow more. All right, we get into the, well, more of the artists. So this is a band that I started to really get into in the past year and a half. But I don't know, there's other bands that I got into after this band, and I don't know, there's something about them that they're just not, I don't love them as much as I used to. Although, this is still going to be my favorite album of theirs. The Residents, Duck Stab. Not Available, and these are good, like Not Available is a good album. I've listened to it a few times, but like I said, just lately, the last 3 months or so, I've rarely played them. I'm too much into Ween Man. Demons Dance Alone, which is really good. Yeah, these earlier ones I can't totally get into yet. I'll play them more. Meet the Residents. That one. And the Residents commercial album. They do 40 songs, and each song is 1 minute exactly in length. Kind of a fun listen. And Eskimo, which is weird. Okay, now we get into the Rolling Stones. Exile on Main Street. Let It Bleed. One of my favorites. Their Satanic Majesty's Request, which I feel is underrated, and includes my favorite song. Well, a couple of them. She's a Rainbow and 2,000 Light Years from Home. Probably my favorite, Sticky Fingers and Beggar's Banquet. But wait, there's more. Now, one thing I will say about being a professional YouTuber for the past almost 19 years is always remember to press record. So I'll do this again. More Rolling Stones. Hackney Diamonds, which was gifted to me by Robert P. Thank you. Very good album. Get Your Ya-Ya's Out. As I was saying when I wasn't recording, I was a big Beatles fan, of course, even, in the 60s. And the Rolling Stones I liked. I loved a lot of their hit songs, but I never heard their albums. This was the first one I ever heard back in probably late 69, 70, probably 69. And that's when I realized they're almost as good as the Beatles. Yeah, every song. Paint It Black, Ruby Tuesday, She's a Rainbow, Dandelion, of course 2,000 Light Years from Home, Street Fighting Man, Honky Tonk Women, and it goes on and on. Underrated album, Emotional Rescue, with one of my favorite deep cuts, All About You, sung by Keith Richards. It's only rock and roll, but I like it. Another excellent album, Some Girls. Underrated album, Goat's Head Soup. Tattoo You, love it. Okay, that's it for the Rolling Stones. Probably, there's the Beatles, but I think even this band is better than them. It's the friggin' Rutles. That's right. So many great hit songs. Goose Step Mama, Hold My Hand, I Must Be in Love, Living in Hope, Ouch, Double Back Alley, Piggy in the Middle, which is probably my favorite, and Cheese and Onions, and this is the expanded version. Focus. Savoy Brown, Street Corner Talking, great blues rock. Then we get into the sensational Alex Harvey Band. The first album I ever bought, The Impossible Dream, and these are two CDs, two CDs together. So this is The Impossible Dream and Tomorrow Belongs to Me, my two favorites. SAHB Stories and Rock Drill. Their live album and the Penthouse tapes. Framed and Next. And then this is a before the Impossible Dream, they recorded the album, but I guess they weren't totally happy with the way it was produced and everything. But it was re-released, the unreleased 1974 album, Hot City, and it's actually really, really good. It's, you know, a little different than what came out before, but it's, if you're a fan of this band, I highly recommend it. And talk about great bands: the Rutles, the Beatles, the Rolling Stones, and of course, the Shaggs. Yeah, once a year or so, this is a fun listen. I think it's kind of sweet. They can't play, and you'd need to know the whole backstory of how this album was made, but still, it's a entertaining listen once a year or so. Now, like I said, sometimes, you know, a CD will get mixed up for whatever reason. I'm in a rush or whatever, I just throw it wherever. And you might remember, if you watched the whole series, in P, I had, you know, quite a few albums by this band. But one I didn't show, because it was in the wrong level, that won't happen again, is Procol Harum's Broken Barricades deluxe set, which is superb. All right, back to more. This is S. Great Canadian artist, kind of like a female Canadian version of Peter Gabriel, or whatever. Jane Siberry, The Speckless Sky. Check out the song Mimi on the Beach. And my favorite, The Walking. I need to get more of this artist. I did in the past, but I don't have very much at the moment. Paul Simon, there goes Ryman Simon, one of the greatest songwriters ever. His debut, which I absolutely love, Paul Simon, and his latest, 7 Songs, which is, once again, really, really good. Love it. Okay, The Essential Canadian Studmuffin. No, The Essential Sly and the Family Stone. Just hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. And I also have, I believe this was their 3rd album, Life. The Small Faces, Hodgdon's Nut Gone Flake. This is the deluxe box set version that came out a few years back, in mono and stereo, bonus tracks. I was making sure I was recording. And I'm going to start on, and then continue it with the next video, Sparks. But before I do, I wanted to mention I have a couple of CDs that won't fit here over where my movies are. So I forgot to mention I've got this Arthur Brown album, Long, Long Road, which is really good. And starting with Sparks, once again, it's not in the CD collection because it won't fit. Sparks, A Steady Drip, Drip, Drip. Love it. And in case you don't know, this just came out recently, and I interviewed the author with I interviewed the author with Monty Mullen on my Canadian Studmuffin channel. So if you haven't seen the interview, it's an hour of us talking Sparks. Okay. Sparks, Two Hands, One Mouth. I saw them on this solo tour. Excellent. This was a tribute to 50 years of Kimono My House. I've also got 2 of the vinyls. Really good. Sparks' debut album, which was re-released as Sparks. It was originally called Half Nelson, produced by Todd Rundgren. Their latest and their greatest, yeah, it's one of my favorites. The Girl Is Crying in Her Latte. Hello Young Lovers, excellent. Big Beat, which I love. One of my favorites, Indiscreet, they're all my favorites. Kimono My House. Plagiarism, where they plagiarize their own songs, they re-record them. Another great one, Propaganda. I even, this is underrated, Interior Design. I've got two versions of Number One in Heaven. I have this one, and then the 45th anniversary edition, remastered. There's the boys. Annette soundtrack, and I don't have the deluxe version yet. The movie they did with Adam Driver. Exotic Creatures of the Deep. The Seduction of Ingmar Bergman. Try saying that once. And this should be under F, but I just put it with Sparks. It's FFS, it's Franz Ferdinand and Sparks, and I saw them on tour in 2015. Really good. And this, once again, should be under N, but I have it with Sparks. It's Noel. Sparks produced Lost Gem, Is There More to Life Than Dancing by Noel from 1979, the first ever CD release with previously unreleased bonus tracks. Fun listen. And Music That You Can Dance To, underrated. And I'll finish off Sparks in the next part, whatever it is. One more. And people, not all the time, but quite often ask, what should I listen to, to get into Sparks? I always recommend, and I know one or two of my viewers did buy this, and they're fans now. Sparks, Past Tense. It goes all the way back to Computer Girl from 1967, I believe. And it's basically their whole career except for their last album. And this is 3 CDs. I believe there's a 2 CD one. So yeah, if you're interested in buying any Sparks to start, this one is probably the one to get. And that is it. Stay tuned for part 85 or 86 or so.